Super quick video on the Kipon Leica S to Fuji GFX adapter. This guy. As you can see, this adapter allows you to take a Leica S medium format lens and put it on a Fuji GFX 100, 100S, 100 Mark II, 100S Mark II body, and then use these lenses. Kipon's website claims that the adapter provides fast, reliable autofocus, as well as aperture control and other electronic functions, lens metadata, all that good stuff. Normally, when I don't like a product, I just don't review it. And here, because the manufacturer's suggested retail price is $1,200, you can get it for $1,000 right now on sale if you buy it through Kipon directly. I'm still going to make this video even though I'm not totally in love with this product. Why do I say that? Well, the aperture function definitely works on this, right? So I can change the aperture on the lens as needed. However, Kipon does not have fast, smooth, reliable autofocus with this adapter. I was hoping for like Fringer level EF to GFX or Megadapt, Sony E to Nikon Z mount performance. There are adapters that almost give you native autofocus performance. And I was hoping you would get somewhere in the ballpark with this. I'm here to report that is not the case. The autofocus is very bad. It's very inconsistent. I can kind of show you here. So not super ideal and not super accurate, fast, or smooth, right? However, you can put the camera into manual mode for manual focusing. You can focus the lens manually. The GFX focus assist tools and manual focus are pretty good. And you have aperture control. So that's all you really need with these lenses. But then they got the flange distance wrong, right? This adapter should probably be about this long, and it's about half the length it should be. I think it's photodiox that makes a dumb adapter that is probably the right flange distance. It is like double the length of this adapter. It's like $200. But the problem with that adapter is that you can't change the aperture on Leica S lenses because they don't have an aperture ring. You need the electronic contacts and electronic communication to change the aperture. It's not the end of the world if they got the flange distance wrong here, but as you'll see from these samples, it's just that like this looks like a 110 or something, whereas when that same lens is on the Leica S3 here, like this 100 Summicron F2 that's on the S3 now, this is like an 85 field of view. When it's on here, it's like a 110 field of view, so you can't match the cameras. Also, it doesn't help with focus because the flange distance is wrong. It's like easy to back focus and slightly miss focus, and then the autofocus doesn't really work on these. So for $1,200, $1,000, the adapter is not perfect, and I feel like it should be better for that price. But since it's the only option to adapt Leica S glass to Fujifilm GFX cameras that allows you to change the aperture on the lenses, I'm probably going to hang on to it for the near term here. I love this Leica S, but it's not practical in that many situations outside of the studio. Whereas the GFX system, you can basically use anywhere, right? They are so close to mirrorless cameras. Like in a generation or two, this might be the way to go for all use cases, right? Putting Canon, Nikon to shame, that kind of a thing. We'll see. But, I feel much more comfortable taking a Fuji out into the field, shooting sports, wildlife, that kind of a thing, fast moving in-studio stuff. So the ability to adapt Leica lenses and get that unique, sweet Leica glass look, to me, it's worth it even if it was $1,000. I will also say in my testing, in particular, this Summicron 100mm, it's Leica glass. It's better than the Fuji glass, right? It renders more nicely, has better micro contrast, better colors, all that stuff. So, I really do want to keep using this. I prefer the colors out of the Leica. But, the S3 is in danger of being sold because this adapter works close enough for most of the things I would do with these lenses. And then the S3 is not exactly a fast focusing camera. So, even though I prefer the colors of the Leica slightly over this GFX, we're getting pretty close here. So, So, thinking about selling the S3 but keeping my Leica lenses in hopes that Leica will come out with a new medium format system that will allow me to adapt those S lenses, get the sweet rendering, all that stuff, the magic of this Summicron f2, 100mm f2, without the slowness and sort of outdatedness of this sweet, sweet S3. So, anyways, I'm getting off topic. So, short version conclusion is the Kipon adapter has two major problems. The autofocus doesn't really work with this adapter. It's hard to update the firmware, also, I should mention. You need a special USB cord that only does data, doesn't do power. I tried like 5 cords before I found one that worked. And then the flange distance is wrong. You don't get the right focal length with this adapter. But despite all those flaws, it's the only adapter in the market that allows you to adapt S lenses, Leica S lenses, to Fuji GFX and change the aperture with those lenses. So for now, I guess it's a keeper, but it's got some big asterisks and some big red flags next to its name. It's not a champ. It's the only game in town, unfortunately. So, have you tried this adapter? Am I missing anything? Am I doing something wrong, perhaps? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.